Hello everyone, I am Diane from Stamping with Diane in Innisfil, Ontario, and I would love for you to join me in making a couple of cards, Christmas cards, using the Christmas Scotty stamp set. This is a great stamp set. It is a photopolymer stamp set, and it comes with a coordinating punch, which will punch out one of the main Scotty dogs, as well as his bow. So we will be using that as well tonight. So first off, we're going to start with just a piece of basic cardstock. The white is what I'm using as my base today. And it is just a half a sheet of cardstock. So just folding that in half. Of course, with our half sheets of cardstock, it works really well to make a portrait card or turn it and make it into a landscape card. The other thing I'm going to be using is our Starry Sky. I love this deep blue Starry Sky, and we're also going to add a strip of silver foil on this to give a very kind of a different Christmas look. Now, to dress these up, I'm going to pull in our embossing folders. These are the mini embossing well, they work well in our mini machine. And it's the Wintry 3D embossing folders. So there's two different patterns, and I'm going to use both of those. So this one has a gorgeous snowflake pattern on it, which works very nicely with this Starry Sky. I'm positioning it so I can get most of this large snowflake kind of in the center of my page. And I'm also going to put our silver strip. This is just 3/4 of an inch wide. And I'm going to put it through the embossing folder that has these kind of evergreen boughs. So I'll pop them in like so, and I'll run them through the machine. And here they are. I hope you can see the beautiful detail of the snowflakes embossed, and the silver foiling really pops as we bring that out. Okay, next I'm going to just adhere these onto the backing or onto our card base. So I'm just going to use some of my white glue. I really like this white glue, especially when it's an embossed, because there is texture there, and it allows you to kind of wiggle it around a little bit to make sure you get it lined up. So here's where my grid paper comes in handy. Just line that up here and up at the top, and my blue strip. Now, sometimes you can use this embossing folder and use it as the debossed and actually put some jewels and rhinestones in those snowflakes. But for tonight's card, the snowflakes are not going to be the feature. Our Scotty dog is going to be the feature. So I'll set that off to the side. Next, I have die cut using our stitched shapes, or the ovals, with the dark gray. This is called Basic Gray. The Basic Gray, and I just think it really looks nice against the silver and the blue. So a piece of scrap white cardstock is what you'll need, and I'm using Smoky Slate. So this is just one shade lighter than the Basic Gray. And this is a really cute stamp set because there are 3 little Scotty dogs all facing different directions. I'm also going to pull out the bow, and the reason I'm using these 2 tonight is because these are the ones that are going to match our punch. So you noticed I didn't take the Scotty dog out. Instead, I took this kind of plaid print. So I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Now, when it's a large stamp like this, you really do need to make sure you've got full coverage there. And I'm going to stamp it off to the side here just to make sure. Yeah, we're good. Sometimes you can get an air bubble underneath these photopolymer, and you might have a little bit of a space showing. So when you're doing this, my recommendation is you make, it's a rectangle. It's not quite a square. So the longer side is what you want your horizontal, and the shorter side is the vertical. Okay, and that is so that it will fit well with our punch. Okay, so we've now got this plaid. I'm going to set that off to the side, and then I'm going to bring in my punch. Slide in from the top of our punches. Our punches unlock, so it comes closed up like this. Just slide this back, and you get the big metal punch. Slide it in from, oops, I still had a scrap from earlier. Pop this through, and I can line it up and make sure I'm getting my whole Scotty dog. I like to give it a wee bit of a twist just so that those the grid isn't kind of perfect on the Scotty. And then punch. So I've got my dog and I have the little bow. So there's a couple of different ways to do the bow. We pulled it out here. I'll put it on my A block. And because I'm using the Starry Sky paper, I can put the bow with the Starry Sky, and it's actually quite dark, quite vivid. Okay, let's try that. And then I kind of like it to kind of looks like it's made with two different ribbons. It's got the gingham, the plaid in behind, and the plain in front. And if you're not liking that look, you can just stamp it on the white, and or you can stamp off and make it a little bit lighter generation, and you decide which one you like the best. So then I can just punch out the dark blue bow. Oops, I put that too close together. Sorry about that. So there's the difference in the first generation and the second generation. So you may prefer the second generation. So we've got a few to choose from. You've got the one with the plaid in behind, the second generation, or the nice dark color. So my next step is, when I have my little Scotty dog, I like to give him a bit of a nose. So I've just got a gray or a black marker would work as well, and give him a little eye in there as well. And then after you've decided which, I think I'm going to use the light one this time. I'm adding a little bit of the white glue on the back of my bow. Pop that on him. And then we're going to glue our Scotty dog onto our oval. Now you could use dimensionals if you want him to pop. But for this one, I'm going to keep him flat and just put him on like so. All right, bringing in my card base again. I'm going to put him partially down because I want to stamp the words Merry Christmas up here. Now, the other thing I could have mentioned to you is kind of set that in place before you glue these down, just to make sure you have the space there. But we made that work just fine. And I'd like to really make our words pop, so we are going to use some heat embossing on this. So when I'm using heat embossing, I bring out my embossing buddy and just give it a little wipe. That takes some of the static off of there, if there's any static. I bring in my Versamark stamp pad, give it a really good inking up with the Versamark. You can't tell it's there. The reason my stamp is pink is I have used a red ink on this in the past, and our red inks do stain. However, it does not transfer, so it's not to worry. Okay, and now I'm pressing firmly. I really want that Versamark to stick to my card base. And you can hardly see it. Not sure if the lighting is going to pick that up for you or not. But now I'll dip it in my silver. Now I take our little tubs and I put them into larger tubs. And we could do it this way. You can pour the ink right, or the embossing powder right on top. And then let it wiggle around to totally cover. I missed the C. There we go. All right, and I'll take this off camera now and run it through our heat embosser. And I've just used the heat tool on that, and it has made that silver lettering now just pop. And I really find it accents perfectly with the silver foiling. So last step, I would like to use a few of, well, there's another stamp in this set that has 3 snowflakes on it. So I find if we can just maybe pop a little delicate snowflakes down in the corner here of our card, just at the base. And again, I'm using the same ink color, and we'll do the same thing inside and even on the other corner. This is a nice stamp as well to use on the envelope of your card. And there you have it, our cute little Scotty dog. Finishing touch. In order to bring out that little bit of sparkle, let's bring in our Wink of Stella and decorate up his bow and give a little bit of glitter. So we've just got those little bits of glitter from our silver foil, our embossing, and his bow. Okay. All right, I just wanted to show you a couple more samples of things I've made using this stamp set. Very simple card here, just using 2 different colors, and I stamped the Scotty dog facing the one direction and added his bow. That's another stamp. This oval is from our new Fitting Florets dies. And then I just cut a window out of the cherry cobbler and used the oval and scalloped oval punches. So super simple, but really cute. And I'm sure you could see how easily you could change this to a happy birthday or any other greeting on the bottom. So Mr. Scotty Dog can work for all occasions. Then I wanted to try a slim line. And again, I just wanted to show all 3 Scotty Dogs there and some of the ribbon that happens as well in this. It's also part of that stamp set. And then one last trick I wanted to show you. Here's Scotty dogs who are facing each other. And you're wondering, how did that happen? Because all the Scotty dogs, they're not facing. So let me quickly show you how to do that. Okay, this is one of the easiest ways to use our mirroring technique. So I've chosen this little Scotty dog. And I'm just pressing him, and I'm going to use the soft suede ink. So he's got very good coverage there, but instead of stamping him solid, he would turn out like this if I stamped it like this. I'm going to bring in this same piece that we used before, this kind of plaid look, and I'm going to press down really carefully because it will kind of wiggle. And once I get it in place, I'm pressing and lifting. And now I have picked up some of that pattern onto Mr. Scotty Dog. And as I press it down, now I'm getting a Scotty Dog that has a print attached. And then, I'm not sure that's going to work. Doesn't look, oh well, we're gonna see. Yes, okay, I think it will. He'll be a little bit fainter, but you see the imprint that came from pressing. I'm now gonna put so that they are paws to paws. And all I'm doing is now, this is the ink that was transferred over from this one onto the block, pressing and releasing. And there he is. So cute. Okay, so then of course you can add in your bows. And let's just do that on this one. There's a couple of different bows you can choose from in the stamp set, so you decide. Let's just use this little guy for now. Pop it on here, and I'll bring back my Starry Sky and give them a tiny little bow. Let one of them have the bow up behind, and we'll put the other bow. No, I want it up behind as well. And there you have it. So that's how you can get Scotty dogs facing each other. So again, using the stamp set, you could do that with any of the three. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed those quick little tips tonight. And I hope you'll join me again for another Stamping with Diane. And my November host code, if you're watching in November of 2022, is this one. And my link tree is always up to date with my latest classes and available workshops. All right, take care. Bye for now.